What's up guys, this is Eddie, welcome to a new video, Earth DPS, let's go. Alright, we're gonna start with melee DPS. First thing first, we're gonna look at the gear and our stats, base mods and artifacts. So I'm 331 and my base might is 87,448. Right now using Blast Adopter for weapon, Supercharged Entomb 3 for head mod, Escalating Might 5 for neck, Berserker for back, Penetrating Strike for chest, Restorative Epicenter for legs, which is not required to be honest, but maximum damage for hands and dashing combos for feet. Dashing combos is basically a super speed movement power. So, but if you're not super speed, you can get a deadly block and that works the same too. For artifacts, we are using transformation card and strategist card. Try to get them both to 200. It will be a huge difference in damage. If they are 200, they basically complement each other. And third artifact is Grimorium Verb. It's your pet. It does additional damage, and the main thing we're using it for is it applies power interaction on your target. So it says right there, earth and water crushed, so it crushes the enemy and you can do additional damage, but it also pet damage, so yeah. Now let's look at the skill points. For weapons, since this is a melee DPS and we are not going to be using precision based damage, just put 1 or 2 skill points, get your weapon, and then under super speed go all the way down here so you can get some restraint resistance, impulse resistance, and get some power out. These 3 are not important if you have low skill points, but if you have extra skill points, why not? Then if you're super speed, go all the way down here and get Whirling Dervish. Iconic powers, you just need a robot sidekick and new venom boost. This is not necessary. Heat vision not necessary. And stat points, we are spec for superpower, get everything in critical attack chance, get everything in critical attack damage, and then put everything in might and power. Now if you have extra skill points like me, you can go for health. Now people might say you can go for precision because it's DPS, DPS stat, but the thing is we're going to be mailing. The more health we have, the more we'll be able to survive it. So go for health. Now let's look at the loadout. Alright, the first one is Tectonic Break. It basically is a burst damage, crushed enemies take additional damage. Number 2 is your supercharged generator, unstoppable, and it crushes the enemies. So 2 things, we are using it for PI, but we are also using Grimorium, which already applies power interaction to the target, but still it works. It generates a supercharge really fast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clip this. This power is clippable, so we're gonna pop 1 and 2 together. Number 3 is Jackhammer. You press number 3 and then you tap melee again and again and again, and it will just do a damage again and again and again. So crushed enemies take additional damage. Number 4 is Whirling Dervish, and if you're super speed, remember the mod we use in our feet. So when you are doing this, you press melee, it will go forward and will do additional damage. So you can do that. Number 5 is Robot Sidekick. Number 6 is Entomb. It is a really awesome supercharge. It goes up to sometimes 700k in damage depending on the defense of your target. But yeah, buff yourself up, use this supercharge, use a trinket and use a supercharge, and go straight up into using your powers. It will do additional damage. Really good. But if you're not comfortable with that, you can always use new venom boost. It will temporarily boost your damage output for these attacks. Now if you're not super speed, what you can do is, the thing is with earth melee, you'd only need these 3 powers to melee. You don't really need Whirling Dervish, but sure, it does good damage. But if you're not super speed, you can replace this with Rumble Crush, so it will damage over time and it also crushes the enemy, right? Or if you want, you can go with Crystal and this. So summon Crystal and this will fortify. This is your basically pet, right? It does additional damage. So this will fortify your golem, this crystal golem. It will shield the golem, give your crystal some power, and also it will grant 15% increased damage to crystal for 6 seconds. So it's really good as well. but for this video we're gonna be using Whirling Dervish because I'm super speed and it works for me. So now let's look at the rotation. Before we start, one thing, since I'm using OP head and I have a lot of dominance, so these targets will be all over the place, so we will be missing some of the damage. Also, do not think that whatever damage you get on sparring targets is the final output. It's gonna change in the real situation like raids or alert. You mostly do more damage in raids and alerts. Anyways, so let's get started. What you're gonna do is we're gonna clip 1 and 2 like this. You go straight into jackhammer and then you just stab melee. Go into Whirling Dervish, clip, go into Whirling Dervish, clip, jackhammer, Whirling Dervish, clip, back to jackhammer. It's already doing 110. Jackhammer, 1 hit 11. $91. So very easy. I'm not gonna waste more time doing that. So as you can see, over 100k damage per second, 111k damage per second. So it's really good. Just use it. Sometimes, you know, when we go to old alerts like, you know, Phantom Zone and the boss, first boss, we just pop these two and he dies. It's just that powerful. And in Tome, really awesome. Even for the new raids, sometimes take, you know, 25% health of the bosses. Anyways, let's move on to the range AOE loadout first. Alright, so range AOE loadout. Everything is same, even the artifacts are same, so we're not gonna look at that. Weapon attacks, I have extra skill points, so I went for the mastery and brawling mastery with martial arts. So you can get that if you have extra skill points, otherwise just get one, put one in here to get the weapon. Super speed, you don't need to get this Whirling Dervish because it's the same thing, extra skill points. I'm just lazy, you know, wasting skill points right here. But yeah, just get your speed force or whatever your flight movement is. Iconic powers, robot sidekick, new venom boost. I sometimes try to use freeze breath, heat vision, but these are not required. You can go for these two anyways. Let's move on. Stat points. Superpower, crit attack chance, critical attack damage, might and power, and then put everything in precision. Let's get these two. Precision 68 right now. Okay, now looking at the loadout. First one, debris field. This is your damage over time, and any target standing in the debris field will get damage over time. It also crushes the enemy, so that's your power interaction. Number 2 is upheaval. Upheaval is basically your combo power. So when you pop upheaval, you tap melee 3 times and it can do additional damage. Crushed enemies will take additional damage. Number 3, crushed enemies take additional damage. Burst power, burst damage. Number 4, rumble crush, crushes the enemy and damages over time. It also we already tried to use it in melee as well. Number 5, robot sidekick. Number 6, in Tome, just like before. So this is not as strong as the melee, but still it's really good for elite raids. So let's take a look at the rotation. Clip. So do 1, clip second one, clip second one, do. So there we have it. Okay, so pretty consistent, to be honest. 75, 83, around that, right? But goes up to 101k. It's not as strong as melee, but it does the job. So just make sure you do tap melee, right? So when you're doing the second tap melee, you clip that with third power. It's pretty simple and the rotation is very smooth then. So tap melee and clip it, this, and by that time it's already ready. This. It's really fast. You keep on doing this and you can do some great damage. But it's only for AOE, range AOE, and there are not many places you need to do range AOE other than, you know, COU Elite or SFFE, like, you know, new raids. So this is range Earth loadout. Let's move on to single target loadout. For single target, everything is same mod, same everything. The only thing which is different is solar amplifier instead of Grimorium. So we're gonna be using solar amplifier. Make sure it's at least 160 so you can get some good damage. It burns the enemies, it puts on damage over time. It's also your burst damage. So really good. The only difference in 160 and 200 is that it installs Empower Channeling Tactical mod, which is not required in this case. So looking at the skill points, weapons, brawling, same thing. I like to get it sometimes because, you know, there's some raids where you are out of power or you're running with, you know, buff troll. So you have to switch to, you know, brawling into weapon mastery, but it's not required. You can just put one over here and you're done with it. Super speed, same thing, just get this one, it's not required. Iconic powers, you need to get robot sidekick, heat vision. You don't need to get Neo Venom boost, but if you like running Neo Venom boost instead of Intome, go for it. Stat points, super powered, critical attack chance, critical attack damage, might and power, and let's put these over here so we have extra precision. Now looking at the loadout, first one, debris field, same thing, crushes the enemy, damage over time. Number 2, upheaval, it's same thing, tap melee 3 times for additional damage, additional combo, right? And crushed enemies take additional damage. Number 3 is heat vision, channeling power, burns the enemies, 2 damage over time. Number 4 is a finisher. It if the target is below 35% health, the attack deals extra damage, but it's also vulnerable to interrupt, so be careful with it. Number 5 is robot sidekick. Number 6 is Intome. It's very simple. Same thing we're gonna do. We're gonna clip our second tap melee with heat vision, right? And then again upheaval, and then clip our second tap melee with sandblast. So you're gonna see in a second. Let's look at the rotation now. Always clip your tap range weapon attacks when doing powers. You can do some additional damage, you know. So there's clip with heat vision. There's clip with sandblast. Here we go. So start with 35, yeah, sure. But now when the strat kicks in, when, you know, the damage kicks in, 66,000 per second, 661,766 total, goes down to 51, 52, 50, then again 61, 55. Same around other powers. It's not as good as gadgets, it's not as good as hard light, but it's still there. You can actually keep up with these powers. Maybe not with gadgets. Gadgets is really OP if you know how to use it, but still this is up there. Really good loadout. You will see what I'm talking about. Take it for a spin in the raids or alerts and you will see what I'm talking about. So this is it, guys. I hope you liked the video. I hope it was informative for you. I hope you learned something. If there are any questions, just comment in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. And see you guys next time.